Hello, everybody. I'm going to talk a little bit about how to survive the holidays, and this is a video. I wouldn't say a training video, but this is just something that puts things into perspective. I wanted to share with you some different perspectives that I have about surviving the holidays. Surviving the holidays can be rough because of different things, because of our life that we live in this 21st century. We're busy, and this year we've had to deal with COVID and the effects of COVID. Maybe you've had a loved one pass away because of complications of COVID, or maybe you've had COVID yourself and you're just trying to get back on your feet. Or maybe you've had your livelihood, your job has been impacted by COVID. It's just so many different things that we have to focus on, and the main thing is just being thankful that things are as well as they are. That if you're watching this, that you have a reasonable portion of health and strength, and that things are as well. Maybe you can't be with your loved ones this year because they live out of state and you might not want to self quarantine for a couple of 10 to 14 days. So it's just some different things that we have to deal with now that causes complications. And we just have to be thankful. And you're saying, well, it's hard. It really is. And I'm not saying that's an easy fix, because it's not. Because when you're going through different things, you don't want to be stressed out, but you're stressing because maybe you don't have enough money to make ends meet because of the impact of COVID on your livelihood, or maybe your hours have been cut, or it's just so many different things. So we just have a lot to process and a lot to deal with. And so we just try to make it the best we can. Just being thankful that things are as well as they are, because most of us have food and shelter, and we may not have a lot of presents under the tree, but we do have the presence of the Lord, which does give us the strength that we need. The other thing that we're having to deal with is grief. As we get older, we see our loved ones are they're gone to a better place, and they're not suffering anymore, but we miss them being human beings. Being humans, we miss those people that had an impact on our lives. My dad's birthday is on Christmas Eve, so that makes it a little rough for me. It makes it a little rough because we used to celebrate his birthday on Christmas Eve. One of the things that we did was we fixed him a pineapple cake, and we would have a little short Christmas dinner and different things. So that made it a little rough. And I remember him because he liked to decorate. He was one of the Clark W. Griswolds. If you ever seen the movie Christmas Vacation, where he decorates his house, my dad would have done the same thing if he could. He did some of it. Climbing on top of the roof, taking care of some different things, having that extension ladder and all these things like that, putting up decorations. So he used to do that. I used to help him some too. One of the things when those miniature lights came out, I was the person that when he unwrapped those lights, I would test them, make sure they all worked. Then if they didn't, I'd take those little lights and just work on them, and I'd get them working. So, I miss that. But I know that to honor his memory, just to decorate. And also one of the things we did was to tell the Christmas story. He would tell it to us, and then, sometimes read it from the Bible. So that was one of the things. So we had a nativity scene in there. And then there was also the night before Christmas, we got together with a gathering, and we all recited the night before Christmas. And one of the other Christmas traditions we had was participating in church functions like plays and cantatas and different things like that. So you missed that this year, but things are. We're thankful that things are as well as they are, and I felt like that I needed to decorate in order to honor my parents. I had a Christmas tree before I had my house, and that was because my mom, when I looked at this house, she looked with me and she said, "You're going to get the house." So next thing you know, she goes to a yard sale and buys this big 7-foot Christmas tree, and she said it'll look good in that window. So yes, we decorate for Christmas. Matt lost his mom last year at this time, and it's a hard time for him. But he said that he thought that when he decorated, it made him feel better. So, and he was talking about his grandma, and everybody likes to decorate for Christmas. One of the things, we're crazy, we like to eat fruit cakes. So yes, we're one of the few There's few people that actually like fruit cake, so we're gonna find us some fruit cake and have it. But see, the thing is, we don't need to get all bogged down with stressing out because we're not gonna have the perfect Christmas. But the perfect Christmas is um, you're doing whatever you feel is best for you. You might not want to decorate. You might not want to listen to Christmas music. That's okay. And so, people call you, they might call you a Grinch, but you have to figure out your own way of coping with the stress of the holidays. And just remember, there's no perfect Christmas. The Hallmark TV channel, that's an escape from reality because those are paid actors played to play a part. That's not has nothing to do with real life. So just remember that life is not a Hallmark movie. That's a movie. Just enjoy it for what it is. The Christmas cards, the Saturday Evening Post, when they show all those beautiful sceneries, just take it for what it is. I mean, you can't recreate. Thomas Kincaid. I mean, that's a special gift he has, and you can't recreate this. I remember interviewing several of the Christian psychologists in the area, and one of the things they said was to get plenty of rest. Don't stress out about different things. Put a limit on your spending. Maybe, do something that you made yourself. One of the years that we had, one of the lean years that a friend of mine had, she had canned over the summer, had a real good garden, had canned over the summer. So it hit her hard in the wintertime. She couldn't buy Christmas presents. So she give out canned food, the food that she had canned, which I was grateful to get because, fresh canned green beans taste pretty good with a Christmas dinner. So, give out gift certificates or maybe a free coffee or something like that. If you don't have any money, offer services. You'll come and babysit or help somebody. One of the things that's needed right now is helping a child with remote learning. If you have any skills in that area, any academic skills or any skills on the computer, it would be helpful. Some of these parents and grandparents are dealing with having to teach their kids, having to deal with remote learning, which that's something that's needed. So maybe you can offer your services to help somebody with some remote learning issues. It's all kinds of things you can do that don't cost money. Offer to sit with somebody, even an elderly person, offer to sit with them so somebody can go to the store or something like that. There's just so many different ways that we can be of service to each other during this time. And the other thing is keep your focus on the reason for the season. Yes, I mean, I am a Christian. I'm going to give you the Christian worldview, and that is Jesus Christ. He is the reason for the season. So we read in John 1, it says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made. All things were made by Him, and without Him was not anything made that was made. And in Him was life, and the light was the light shined of all men." And I tell you what, that's what we have to do, is keep our focus on the main thing, Jesus Christ. You can read in Luke, the 2nd chapter, the Christmas story, and you can read in Matthew, and it's the 2nd chapter, the 1st chapter. The first part of it is the genealogy of Jesus, and we all have characters in our family. This is interesting. We all have characters in our family, and if you read the genealogy of Jesus, you'll find out that he has some characters in his family too. When we think about all the generations of Jesus Christ and all of the other things, all of the people associated with the Christmas story, the kings, the shepherds, all those people that were involved in it, Joseph, Mary, all those people, Elizabeth, John, Zacharias, and John the Baptist, all those that were associated in the Christmas story, which tells us one thing: there's room for everybody at the foot of the cross. I didn't mean to turn this into a message, but I just wanted to let you know that there's ways to survive Christmas. You don't have to be all stressed out and wondering where you're gonna put yourself in the hospital or get an anxiety attack over different things. Just enjoy it for what it is. And because over the years I've had some lean Christmases and I've had some good Christmases. Growing up, when you're a kid, you don't really think about this, but we had good Christmases. We had different things. You know, parents went all out to make sure we had what we call a good Christmas. They went to the loan company and borrowed money so we could have a good Christmas. And then as I got older, you know, I worked a lot of Christmases, and I wasn't always so noble about it because I didn't like working on Christmas. Um, you know, that's just something. But that was what, so people could be with their families, the ones that had children. And one of the other things, you know, one of those years I worked, we had a very special Christmas. It was three of us single ladies. Um, Betty Sneed was a friend of mine. She cooked Christmas dinner for us because we had to work. She didn't work. She wasn't working. She was retired. So me and Shirley Gibson, we had to work that day. So she picked us up from work and we all had Christmas dinner together. That's something that you could do. Maybe get with some friends, or there's some volunteer opportunities that they will be having in this area where you can help somebody else, offer some services, volunteer, you know, to cook for somebody, take somebody a meal, do something that get your focus, get your mind off of things. Sometimes it's a little harder to do that, but that was one of the special Christmases. And one year we didn't have a Christmas. I mean, we had a Christmas, but it wasn't what they call. We didn't give gifts because the mines had laid off, and I had to work, and the mines had laid off, and my dad didn't get us. We didn't get Christmas presents because we didn't really have a lot of money. So I got birthday presents. So we made up for it later on. But at Christmas we did. We just didn't do it. We did it later on. And then you know, there's different times when different things happen that you just learn how to cope as it comes. You learn how to take it as it comes, because like I said, I was talking to a friend of mine, and you know, they're not going to be able to visit their kids this year because of COVID, and they don't want to quarantine for 14 days. So they're not going to go visit their kids for Christmas. They'll be here by themselves. So you know, we just have to figure out ways to where we can help each other and support each other and just be there for each other. But don't stress out about it, because Christmas is, when we think about it, Jesus is the reason for the season. And in Jesus, there's no darkness, there's no shadow of turning, and there's no strife or stress or anything else. So let's just focus on the reason for the season. I just appreciate you all listening to this. This might seem like ramblings, but it's not. I'm just hoping that something I've said will give you some perspective on things.